Wealth preservation requires lots of planning. It's about consciously anticipating changes. It's about thinking about what exits might be. The complexity increases exponentially when the family members are in different countries or when the assets are in different countries. In those circumstances, a really clear systematic plan is necessary, and we would divide it into 5 steps. Step 1, have a plan. And even if that plan is to do nothing, that's a plan, because consciously the family have thought about what their circumstances are, what the consequences of certain decisions are, and have decided not to do anything about it. Second step, choose the right advisors. Our experience generally shows that advisors are excellent in the areas in which they trained, and in those areas they have very deep knowledge. But where the challenge really comes in is going up to 30,000 feet and seeing moving parts across a number of different countries, a number of different assets, and finding a way to synthesize all of those moving parts. Step number 3, formalize. We so often speak to families who have done a great job in assessing their situation, having a family discussion about what to do as a next step, but they're not going any further, almost being stuck in that phase, and it's necessary to formalize the plan. Fourth step is align. We see this very, very often with families that are entrepreneurial, families that are business-minded, but making sure that that plan is communicated to all of the family members, that there's an element of buy-in to the plan. Lastly, nothing is forever. One never plans on the basis that the particular wealth structure will be there for 100 years. So always have an exit plan in whatever you're doing, and ensure that you revisit that plan regularly, particularly when significant life events happen, in order to ensure that the plan is still fit for purpose. My own background has given me a taste for that complexity. I have an Italian father who met my German mother whilst living in South Africa. I'm South African born, spent a good couple of years in London before relocating to Switzerland some 11 years ago. What I try and do, and what all of our team members try and do, is bring those personal experiences into the discussions we have with families, because even though they're at a different level, the experiences we have are incredibly valuable. Families are all faced with these decisions of where the kids are schooled, where do they want to be located. And it's an incredibly validating process to actually remind ourselves that the experiences that we have in our own lives are very relevant and very, very helpful to these families. As a wealth planner, living in Zug is absolutely fascinating, because I can observe around me many international families who are here for shorter or longer periods of time. An intense focus on the digital hub that Zug now is. And in our role as wealth planners, we're very often in the engine room with these families. We're at the table when they're making difficult decisions about where to go next, and the learning that comes out of that, and the ability to actually contribute through our experience to the way that they solve these problems, is something that gives me and the rest of my team energy every single day. I'm often asked what's the X factor for a wealth planner, and it's a number of things. Being curious about what's going on around you is probably one of the most important things, but also being able to work in an area that is really complex and essentially scenario cast a number of different outcomes, and understanding the link between what you're doing now and the consequence of that link down the line. We often say within our business that it is a journey. The journey has a beginning, it has a middle, it has an end. Very often there are signposts along the way where one needs to make decisions, life events along the way. But we enjoy being part of that journey very, very much. And we would enjoy very, very much being part of that journey with you and your families.